Good afternoon and a very warm welcome indeed to the Central Coast. Once again, it's round 25 of the New South Wales NPL men's competition. Here for the latest instalment of the Battle of the Academies. It is, of course, the Central Coast Mariners playing host this afternoon to Sydney FC. Pete Pryor here with you this afternoon. Absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is, wherever it is in the world you may be tuning in from. The team news is in. No changes this week for Lucas Valela's side. They line up as follows. In goal, number 40, Joel Wade. Number 3, and captain Michael Paragali. The 10, Aok Mo. 11, Jai Rose. 13, Logan Sambrook. 21, Muginga Mpota. 22, Shumba Mutakoyi. 23, Lawrence Taylor. 24, Kai Schumacher. 35, Max Miller, and wearing number 38 this week, Harrison Jablonski. Options on the bench for the hosts this afternoon include Ty McKibben, Angus Reid, Noah Peacock, Harper Riles, Flynn Richards, and reserve goalkeeper, Jai Ajanovic. For Sydney FC this afternoon, as you can probably hear the Cove in fine voice behind the goal to our left here at Pluham. They line up as follows. In goal, number 12, Alexander Zavadinos. The 3, and captain, Kyle Shaw. The 4, Joseph Kaljusic. The 10, former Mariner, returning to Plume Park for the first time, Tay Headley. The 15, Samuel Lancaster. 16, Nicholas Zrilic. 20, Oscar Gultekin. 27, Lockie Middleton. 33, Marin France. 39, Dylan Rose. And 47, Kalen Marshall-Whitty. Reserve goalkeeper for Jim Van Weeren's side this afternoon, Jacob Krebbing-Cowan. The rest of the bench made up of Tyler Williams, Nicholas Alfaro, Jared Middleton, Jay Maltz, and Junior Conde. The referees conducting their final checks, synchronising their watches, the whistle blows, and away we go here on the coast for round 25. Two sides with a long and storied history across the A-Leagues and, of course, the NPL and NYL setups. Two sides in really contrasting form at the moment. The Mariners, 5 games unbeaten. Sydney FC, contrastingly, winless in their last 5, but as we know all too well, these sorts of matches between these academy sides, the form guide, well, you can pretty much rip it up, chuck it in the bin, and set the bin on fire. Is Rose. Dylan Rose, of course. France. Weaving his way inside. To go back, spin it wide for Marshall-Whitty. Kyle Shaw back on halfway. Sydney FC attacking the canteen end of the ground for the first half. As we said, in a really barren run of form at the moment. Coming into this one off the back of that 2-1 derby defeat last week at the hands of the Wanderers. That result, a prime example really of how you can really just tear up the form guide in these academy duels. Long searching ball forwards. Should be fairly regulation for Joel Wade. Second. Shove in the back of Michael Paragali there. Here's Mutakoyi striding forward from the heart of defence. A real trademark of a former academy centre-half for the Mariners in Dan Hall, who, Mutakoyi, I've been reliably informed, really kind of models his game off. Dan Hall coached Shumba Mutakoyi for a number of years and is a key reason why this young centre-half is, in fact, at the Central Coast Mariners. bright future ahead of the 16-year-old. All the way back with Sandy Zabadinos. Kaljasic. No avenues open in front. All the passing lanes blocked off. Now short. Marshall Whitty. Inside it goes for Dylan Rose. The slaloming run forwards. It's handy as well, here's France. Triangles forming on this near touchline for Sydney FC. Back with Lancaster. Kaljasic will strike from a long way out. Joel Wade had a fair old while to see it and just lets it run into his gloves. Here's Mutakui again striding forward from centre half. Now Rose on halfway. Jai Rose, of course. He was perhaps expecting the run from Ayuk Mo. It never arrived. Lockie Middleton taking away the legs of Jai Rose eventually, and the whistle signalling a Central Coast Mariners free kick, which Jablonski will take. Caused no end of havoc from his set pieces last week, did Harrison Jablonski. That was a testing one as well for Sydney FC. First quarter of the afternoon going the way of the Mariners, which Jablonski will again make his way over to take. Mariners proving a real handful from set pieces last week, as we said. They found themselves 2-0 down after just 10 minutes at the hands of St George FC. 3 goals from set pieces contributing to a 4-2 victory on the day for the Coast. Rose also standing over this one. He's the right-footed option, of course. Will be Jablonski to curl this one into the back post. Paragully nods it goalwards. He'll have it back as well, will Paragully, and clip it towards the back post. Strike eventually being fizzed into the area from Jablonski and cleared by Sydney. Schumacher's going to send it straight back into the area. Zabadinos. That's comfortable. Paragully, of course, with a handful himself from set pieces last week for the Coast. 2 goals for the skipper as well. Real fascinating contest here today between these 2 young sides. Littered with so much young talent all over the park. So many of those in this academy setup were involved in Sydney's victory over Wrexham the other week as well. Throughout their tour of Australia and New Zealand. So academy product Joe Lacey, of course, scoring what proved ultimately to be the winner. Kaljasic, wide it goes. Cross swung in. Gultekin was stretching to try and prod it beyond Wade. Just a little too far ahead of Sydney's number 20, leading the line. Look at this for a run from centre half from Paragully, who's dumped to the deck on halfway as well. Lancaster, it was, stepping forward to effect the challenge on the Mariners skipper, who stayed down. Physio originally waved on, but then waved away. I fancy Sam Lancaster maybe getting a bit of a talking to as a result of that challenge. Yes, being summoned to the headmaster's office here. Just a ticking off, no further sanction required. Well, that's one way to stop a marauding run from centre half anyway. Swung in towards Paragully. It's his opposite number 3 and Shaw, who nods it clear eventually. Well, half clear anyway. For a bit of a tangle and a tussle. And they're coming together on the byline, just resulting in nothing more than a goal kick. Low on that far touchline. Closing down all the lanes ahead. Sydney Winnett in the middle of the park. Looking for that slide rule ball for Gultekin. Just went straight into the legs of Michael Paragully in the end, and Sydney forced to go all the way back. This is Aberdinos. Tay Headley inversing from the wing there. As we said, his first return. His first match back at Plume Park since his move down the F3 for Tay Headley. After a bright opening 5 or so minutes for Sydney FC, where they really had the Lions' share of the ball, the Mariners have managed to settle things down, but Sydney FC have sent everyone forward for this set piece. It's repelled on the edge of the area by Ayuk Mo. The cross is swung in towards the back post, a diving header from France. Couldn't quite connect with the effort. Final touch off the Mariners in the end, and behind this time for a Sydney FC corner. Tay Headley across to take the set piece, looking to swing this one away. He does just that towards the penalty spot. Not clear initially, only as far as the edge of the area. The strike! Good save initially from Wade, but there's nothing he can do about the follow-up. Sydney FC strike first here at Bloom in the Battle of the Academies, creating mayhem themselves from a set piece. A good save initially from the effort from Marin France, but nothing that Joel Wade could do about the follow-up from Joseph Kaljasic. His second goal of the season arriving here in round 25. Been with the club for ever so long, has Joseph Kaljasic. All the way through the under-13s and beyond. 21 years of age now. That's Boyd. Sydney FC spirits no end. France skipping around Schumacher. His cross is straight into the face of Mutakoyi, really. Dylan Rose flipping one into the area. Kept in right on the byline. Here's France. Marshall West. Dylan Rose again. Sydney FC now looking to be a bit more patient in possession, and of course as soon as I say that, it's clipped forward, trying to get Tay Headley in behind. Jablonski will hook it over his shoulder and into touch.
Look, everyone's wearing the jumpers.
Kaljasic, the goal scorer. The difference between these two sides so early here. Last goal for Joseph Kalyasic, in fact, came all the way back in round 2. It was his first ever goal in the senior setup for Sydney FC. Here's Headley trying to create some mayhem. Mutakui there first. France doesn't have the beating of Jablonski. Before Dylan Rose really pulling down Logan Sambrook there. Mutakui looking for the ball centrally from Mo. Contact in the back of Ayuk Mo. Whistle eventually going against Samuel Lancaster, once again the aggressor. Very healthy turnout here at Plume Park today as well, of course, for this one. Swung wide in the direction of Miller, making a foray forward on that far touchline. Never reached him though. Mariners League One boys in action today as well, across the age groups. They host St George City FA. That's handy from Mo, now looking to weave his way into the area. Blocked off, once again, by Kalyasic. Ayuk Mo, another one of those who's crossed the Central Coast Sydney FC divide, arriving on the coast this season from Sydney FC, while Tay Headley went the other way. Aaron Francis found himself in a very handy pocket of space, looks to chop back onto his left foot here. The strike coming eventually, but he was off balance, always falling backwards there, Aaron France. He has been lively in the opening exchanges, though. The 18-year-olds. Another one in this academy setup of Sydney FC, who's got so much tenure at the club. Eventually arrived just 12 years old. Or originally arrived, I should say. 4 goals for the season as well across his 10 starts for Marin France. Scooped the Rising Star Award as well at last year's Sky Blue Ball. Joel Wade had a bit of a task on his hands to collect that one. Able to do so eventually. We'll have it back here as well, the Mariners gloveman. It deserves a lot of credits and a lot of praise, really, for the Mariners' form of late, contributing with some outstanding saves over the last 5 weeks in particular. Played every game since round 13. Tekin in a bit of a tussle with Paragully. Paragully coming out on top. His clearance only reaching the edge of the area where Headley brings it under his spell. Looking to weave some magic around Miller. Miller's done well enough to hold him up. The cross is eventually swung in towards France. Jablonski repels. Aaron France will have it back. France, one way and the other. It's around the outside of Rose. Dry Rose initially. Now Dylan Rose. Ball forward from Kalyasic into the half space. Too far ahead of both Headley and Gultek in the end. Well, plenty of action across the NPL men's competition in New South Wales this afternoon. 3 games originally scheduled. It's turned into 4, of course, following the lighting dramas at Popondetta Park last night. As Mount Druitt were originally slated to host Upper Leichhardt last night. Here's Mo skipping inside.
Let's go, boys.
It's a handy-looking ball as well to find Jablonski in a pocket of space on this near-touch line. Lawrence Taylor now. Mariners with a bit of a rare spell of possession here. Has been mostly Sydney FC dominating the possession statistics so far. Using Pota. Felt he was dragged down. Contact was incidental. Mutakoyi rising to nod that one forwards. The ball eventually making its way out here to France. Again skipping onto his left. The strike eventually coming from Lockie Middleton. It was straight at Joel Wade, but it was a really awkward sort of one. It bounced right in front of the Mariners custodian. Action elsewhere this afternoon, as we mentioned, of course. So just wait to see how this plays out. Well, it's Jablonski. Rockdale Illingdon playing host to Sydney United 58. St George FC hosting Blacktown, and as we mentioned, Mount Druitt in action at Popondetta against Upper Leichhardt. Been a real weekend of absolute chaos, as we've come to expect across the NPL men's competition. Last night at the Palace, perhaps the headline results, Spirits FC, a 5-star performance, putting 5 past Marconi. Finding themselves 3 clear now atop the competition standings. Jai Rose shifts it back onto his right and looks to clip it forward towards Mpota. It's a long way ahead of Muginga Mpota though. Friday night down at Cromer Park, of course. Saw Manly United in action against the Wanderers. With a result that could prove critical. The Wanderers, of course, just a point behind the Central Coast Mariners in that Pro-Rel playoff space as of the start of today's standings. It's a Coastie Junior, of course, who secured the 3 points for Manly, Jesse Pires. Wonderland Junior, of course. That's a handy ball forward for Muginga Mpota. Looking to go through the gears, pulls it back towards Jai Rose. Just looked to poke it home, and it was just a matter of centimetres ahead of the toe of Jai Rose. Inches away from restoring parity. Another former Sky Blue, of course, Jai Rose. Mariners asking for the handball. On we go, though. Taylor couldn't quite retain it. Schumacher will send it straight back forward towards Sandbrook. Picked up here by Dylan Rose now. We said Jai Rose arriving on the coast midway through last season from Sydney FC, who's really grown in stature and reputation on the coast. Perhaps needs not be mentioned, but son of current Mariners A-League assistant coach and Mariners legend Josh Rose. Much has been made of that. The young starlets coming through. Sons of our heroes from yesteryear. Another one who currently plies his trade at Sydney FC, Matthias McAllister, taking no part today. As Kalusic strides forwards. Fizzed in towards the feet of Gulsecki, who tries to juggle his way around Paragalli. Paragalli takes it off the toe of Oscar Gulsecki and into touch. Taylor clears it from the edge of the area out towards this near touch line. And Kyle Shaw will make his way back to retrieve it for the Sky Blues. Kalusic, wide it goes. Lancaster. One-on-one here with Max Miller. Max Miller perhaps coming out on top of that duel. Able to get a crucial toe in there and just prodding it into touch. And Sydney FC now forced to go back and reload, recycle on halfway here with their captain Shaw. Kalusic fizzed in at the feet of Headley. Now Headley to swing this one in towards the penalty spots. Paragalli getting a head to it crucially. France now to retrieve it on this near touch line before it's prodded into touch by Jablonski. Hoisted back in to play and cleared from the edge of the area by Sam Brook, not shirking his defensive duties. Is France. Swinging the cross in again towards Gulsecki. Cleared as far as Mpota. It's taken away from Maginga Mpota though. Now France again. Jablonski, very good piece of defending indeed. Does even better to win the throw as well off the legs of Marin France. We can bring you those updates from elsewhere as well. And there's not much to report in all fairness across the league so far. Joseph Kalusic's goal this afternoon, the only goal scored across all four fixtures. We're hoping that Spirit FC haven't used all the goals up for this round. Plenty more to come, I'm sure. Headley. Burst of acceleration, proving too much for perhaps himself there as well. Max Miller able to steal in. Schumacher winning the throw on the far touch line. Schumacher with the big up and under there. Porter giving chase. It's comfortable enough for Kyle Shaw though to just nod it back to Zabadinos. Sydney FC again now looking to just settle into their rhythm. Lancaster. Unable to keep it in play on that far touch line was Zrilic. His first start of the season, in fact, for Nicholas Zrilic. Made his first grade debut just 2 weeks ago as well. Porter, the far touch line now for the Coast. Holds it up and just awaits the supporting cast. It's waited too long. Tay Headley stepping in. Into touch it goes once again. Hoisted in again towards the head of Mpota. Might just fall here for Sandbrook. Well, it's hooked clear as far as the head of Motakoyi. Schumacher now. Well, Schumacher unable to bring it under his spell, and Sydney FC now flooding forward in numbers with pace and intent. If only for a moment. They're forced back to halfway, and even further back, and even further back. All the way back to Sandy Zavadinos. Those Sydney FC fans, the Cove behind the goal there in fine spirits as well they might be, as they look to put the screws to the Mariners there. Well, it's France again in the channel, just rolling all the way through to Wade in the end. Miller has been absolutely thrown to the deck there. Ailk Low as well. So, well, a free kick awarded for any one of a number of infractions, really. This one has been fairly tight. It's been tense. Michael Paragalli with an uncharacteristic error there, turning it over cheaply. We'll be thankful it hasn't cost his side another regulation take for the Mariners custodian. It's Jablonski. Back to Watakoyi. All the way back once again to Joel Wade. Might just opt to put his foot through this one. He does. He clips it forwards. Dylan Rose now twisting and turning and finding some support on that far touch line. He'll have it back as well, Dylan Rose. Taken off his toe though by Mpota, who gets the return pass and sweeps it out to this near touch line, where Mo is racing after it. Jablonski was racing forward and might just find himself out of position now. It's a little bit scrappy in the middle of the park. The Mariners emerge with it as Jai Rose, the lung-busting run forwards. A bit of a pocket of space here as well. Time to measure the cross here for Rose. Clipped in. Nodded clear. Towards the feet of Ultakin. Those Mariners fans on the far touchline, giving as good as they get. Watakoyi again across, playing covering defender. Gets body position ahead of Marshall Whitty. And wins the throw in as well off the legs. Sydney's 47 there, Caelan Marshall Whitty. It's been fantastic since his introduction to the first grade setup, Shumba Motakoyi. Just 16 years of age, as we said. Been blessed with a run of games of late. since the departure of Rocco Smith to St George. Been at the Mariners since he was 12 years old as well. Came through the age groups with many of his colleagues in the first grade set up here as well. Max Miller was a year ahead of him. Marin France giving chase and keeping it in play and able to pull it back into the area. Well, no, he's not. Just running out of real estate on that byline. We can take the opportunity to bring you a quick update from around the grounds elsewhere as well. If you don't want spoilers, do block your ears now, but at Barton Park, Blacktown City have just gone ahead from the penalty spots. 1-0 to Blacktown against St George FC. As it is here at Bloom, Joseph Kaljasic, the difference so far. Real clear-cut chances that are very much at a premium here on the coast. As France sliding into great effect there is Jablonski. It was a fairly tight encounter last time these two sides met as well, back in round 10, all the way back in April. Sydney, of course, getting the 3 points on the evening, courtesy of Matthias McAllister. As we said, takes no part today. Mariners finishing the game, or playing much of the game really, with just 9 as well, following red cards to Shumba Mutakui on the ball here now. Morris Taylor as well also sent off. Good first touch there from France to take him around the outside of Jablonski. It was perhaps heavier than he may have liked, and he had a job and a half to try and keep it in play, which allowed Jablonski to slide in at the expense of a corner, though. Perhaps a free kick. Nope, it is indeed a corner. Just a good old school footballing challenge, that from Jablonski. They are risky, though, when you do jump in like that. Variation on the corner towards the back post and comfortably claimed by Joel Wade. They came from behind, of course, last time these two sides met on the coast, back in round 20 of last season. Just over 13 months ago now. Sydney FC went ahead, courtesy of Tiago Quintal, on his 18th birthday as well, if you don't mind. Here's Sandbrook now, breaking into the channel. Cross straight into the legs there of a combination of Dylan Rose and Marshall Whitty. Mariners with what has been so far a bit of a rare sight of goal. But another opportunity from the corner here. Jablonski, as we've come to expect, making his way forwards. Jai Rose, I fancy it may well be to take though. Does wait for his partner in crime to arrive. Jai Rose gives a signal and plays it short for Jablonski. Goes all the way back to Taylor. Something off the training ground perhaps from the Mariners. Taylor clipped in, looking to get Rose in behind. We saw a very similar sort of move last week, which was profitable for the Mariners. Jablonski clipped in towards the head of Sambrook, and Zavadinos really plucking it right off the head of Logan Sambrook there. France. Looking to skip his way inside, and then the ball clipped forward towards Lockie Middleton. Marshalled all the way that by Mutakoi. Turns it around the corner looking for Miller. Miller will hoist it back into play, and then Kaljasic will just send it back from whence it came. Mutakui nodding it forward, giving Mo something to chase. Not too far ahead of the Mariners, number 10. Marshall Whitty. Now Lancaster. Kaljasic again. Forced all the way back to Zavadinos. Playing safe. Happy to just play keep ball here, Sydney FC. Challenge coming in from Rose on Zrilic. Forward it will go though for the second. Final touch off the Mariners skipper, Paragali. They had to do it the hard way last week, of course. The Central Coast Mariners found themselves 2-0 down after just 10 minutes, in fact, against St George FC. Went to the sheds on level terms on that occasion. They've got about 5 or so minutes to do so until the interval here if they look to mirror that feat. Said Paragali at the double on the day. And Potter also scored the first for the Coast. The result put beyond any doubt by Noah Peacock after some great work in the lead-up from Rose and Riles. Riles sliding the ball across the face of goal, allowing Peacock to slam it home for his maiden Central Coast Mariners goal. Taylor, he's just dwelled on it a little bit there and allowed Middleton to steal in. Now France. Skipping his way inside. Doesn't have the beating of Mutakui. Another very good handy piece of defending, but he's got himself into a little bit of trouble there, Mutakui. Just a little too ambitious in carrying it forward. Cross swung in and repelled by Max Miller as far as halfway. Sandbrook swarmed by a couple of sky blue shirts. Paragali now. Sliding challenge. Michael Paragali all the way into touch in the end. It's Kalen Marshall-Whitty who was all the way across there. I did have to double check. The right fullback all the way up the opposite end of the pitch, the top left quadrant really. Going on a bit of an adventure. Why not? Strike coming in from Headley's a very good one. It's dipping late. It's a very good follow-up save from Joel Wade, who had to get his bearings again after the initial attempt. Nearly something out of nothing there from Sydney FC. Joel Wade again on hand. Just getting a look at the replay on that one. Joel Wade may have perhaps felt that he could have done a little bit better with the first efforts. Only able to push it really out, directly back out in front of him, which gave Marin France the opportunity, but he's done ever so well with the second save, mind you. Very good piece of recovery goalkeeping from the Mariners gloveman. Meanwhile, Sydney FC back to the corner. Headley across to take. Headley it was who fashioned the chance. Towards the near post. Not a clear. It's going to come straight back at them though. Marshall Whitty sends it in towards the penalty spot. Big shout of keeper from Joel Wade before he plucks it out of the afternoon sky here on the coast. Jai Rose proving a real nuisance of himself on that far touchline, and he's won the throw in as well. Here is Rose. Schumacher has to try and get it out from under his feet. Does so. Isn't Porter. Back to goal. Laid off before it's clipped in towards Sambrook. Zabadinos anticipating that one well and racing off his line to snuff out the danger. Into the final minutes of the first 45 here on the coast. I fancy we may just see the regulation 1 minute of time added on. Joseph Kaljusic's goal, the difference, of course. Hasn't been too much to report other than that. Dylan Rose held up by Sambrook, but he's able to get the pass away here. Freed up Marin France as well in that sequence. His first time cross found wanting, floating harmlessly behind in the end. And we will take the opportunity before half-time, as we do see the board go up for that regulation 1 minute, to bring you an update from Barton Park as well. Travis Major, as we said, scored from the spots in the 27th minute. Chan Yel Chan equalised. St George FC now have just gone ahead. Troy Danaskis scoring from the spot there, 2-1 in favour of the Saints. As we tick towards the final few seconds of the first stanza here at Plume. Potter winning the throw, and perhaps one last roll of the dice here for the Mariners as they look to try and equalise ahead of the interval. Here's Rose trying to weave his way inside. And that will be that for the first half here on the Central Coast. It's Joseph Kaljusic's goal proving the difference. Sydney scoring from a set piece against the Mariners, who themselves proved to be masters of the set piece last week. How the turntables. We're off for a short break here on the Central Coast, but don't go anywhere. Do join us for the second stanza in about 15 or so minutes' time. very warm welcome indeed back to leafy Lisarow here on the Central Coast for round 25, the latest instalment of the Battle of the Academies. Mariners playing host to Sydney FC, who currently hold the most slender of advantages here over their academy counterparts, courtesy of Joseph Kalyasic. Prodding home from close range after Marin France was initially denied. The whistle blows and away we go for the second stanza here on the coast. The Mariners getting us underway for the second half, kicking from left to right on your screens. Headley. Whistle goes for the free kick after the challenge from Importa. On the goal scorer, Kalyasic. Referee just awaited to see if any advantage would accrue. Come for the Sydney free kick. Zabadinos sends it forward on the far touchline. Bit of a tussle there between Jablonski and France, who was so lively in the opening stanza. Came close on a couple of occasions as well to finding the back of the net, as we said. Could really be credited with the assist, in fairness, for the goal that separates these two sides. Also drew a fantastic save out of Joel Wade as well. Zrilic, little flick around the corner. He'll get the return pass as well. Zrilic! Here's a trigger from the edge of the area. It's a fairly regulation save for Joel Wade, just plunging on the ball there. Paragali. Porter. Mo. Just breaking down on this near touchline right on halfway, and Sydney FC look to transition rapidly, perhaps too rapidly. You can see the intention there from Gultekin. Just looking to bounce it wide for Headley. Didn't get the connection required though to stick the pass. Racing forward on that far touchline is Jablonski. Just a really frustrated looking challenge that from Harry Jablonski. Two hands in the back of Kyle Shaw. It's an easy free kick to give. Taylor emerging with us here. Has his legs taken away very agriculturally, and I fancy we're going to see our first booking of the afternoon. We are indeed. Yellow card brandished in the direction there of Dylan Rose. As Lawrence Taylor was able to dig it out from under his free his feet as well, enough to create a couple of yards of space. Lawrence Taylor looking to just get in a little bit more involved early in this second half. And Kai Schumacher struggled to really get into the game in the first 45, just playing on top of each other a little bit. Mariners with the early set-piece opportunity here. Rose swings it in. Sydney will have the free kick. Whistle going to just release that pressure valve. Well, I fancy Lucas Vallela will be thinking about going to his bench soon. Of course, the likes of Harper Riles and Noah Peacock waiting in the wings. They were so impactful last week as this is struck from a long way out, really. Zrilic again. Nicholas Zrilic not getting the contact required on that effort. As we said, his first start today, looking to make an impression there as well. late. Playing it forward to halfway. Sambrook and Mo looking to release some Porter here. Kaljasic is first on scene. Forced into touch, and Jablonski keen to get on with things quickly. Rose, and again Taylor brought down in a fairly agricultural sort of manner. Taylor was keen to get it on the move quickly. Sydney back straight on top of the ball. Marin France just delaying the free kick. Bit of gamesmanship there. Jablonski will eventually be allowed to hoist this one into the area. It's very deep, and the whistle goes again. Coming together between the Mariners player and Kalen Marshall-Whitty. Manly Junior, of course. Marshall-Whitty. Third start of the season for the Sky Blues since making the move across from Manly. Very handy in the front layer indeed. Here he is on the ball. Pulled back into the area by Kalen Marshall-Whitty. Lawrence Taylor will clear over that far touchline. France unable to whip the ball in. He'll have another throw in for his troubles though. Quested in this time. Just got stuck under the feet of Botakoy, and the strike is rifled into the bottom corner. Joel Wade rooted to the spot. Very little he could do about that one. And Sydney FC are 2 goals to the goods. Botakoy just couldn't quite get it out from under his feet, and Marin France has a goal that his performance so far in this contest is richly deserved. Goal number 5 of the season for Marin France. Sydney are in the box seat to really say goodbye to their barren run of form. Well, I fancy we're going to see those changes sooner rather than later now for Lucas Valela's side. There are a couple of players stripped and ready for action. And Sydney FC really looking to put the screws to the Mariners here. Second it was with the strike from the edge of the area. Took a couple of touches on the way through that really took any sort of sting out of it before it reached Joel Wade. Looks like we're going to have a triple change incoming for the Mariners. Being harassed and harried. Keeps his composure, plays back to the feet of Wade. Lofts one forward towards Sambrook. Kyle Shaw had body position. Able to watch it all the way into touch, and we will see those changes now for Lucas Valela's side. Logan Sambrook, Awil Kamo and Mugunga and Porter all withdrawn. Noah Peacock, Flynn Richards and Harper Riles all introduced for the final 35 or so minutes here at Plume. Early touch here for Richards, back to Paragali, who glides around the initial challenge. Have it back here as well, Paragali. The flag is up on the far touch line. Offside against Marin France. It drifted in centrally. Here's Middleton. Inside it goes for Dylan Rose. Out wide is Headley. Dylan Rose again. Arms all over Kai Schumacher there. On we go. Rose. Middleton. Right, it goes for Gultekin on the edge of the area. Mutakui stepping forward to affect the challenge. Effectively affecting the challenge. Here's Richards. Wide on halfway. To try and get the inside of Zrilic there. Zrilic winning the physical contest and winning the ball as well. Miller stepping in. Take it off the toe of Headley. Into touch it goes though. Jim Van Weeren yet to go to his bench for Sydney FC. Here's Jai Rose just slipping, having his legs taken away from him rather. Jablonski keen to get on with it, takes the free kick quickly and perhaps too quickly. It's a little bit scrappy on halfway. There will be the yellow cards brandished in the direction of Kai Schumacher or Lawrence Taylor. Take your pick really. That was certainly Lawrence Taylor. Yellow card number 6 of the season for Lawrence Taylor. It was, as we said, sent off last time these two sides met down at Rockdale Millenden Sports Centre. All the way back in round 10. City victorious on the evening and certainly in the prime position to do the double over the coast this year. It's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination, of course. Here's Richards. Zrilic stepping in. Very interesting contest between Flynn Richards and Nicholas Zrilic for the remainder of this one. Paragali, now Miller. Handy ball for Peacock. First time pass to find Paragali. Clipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Kyle Shaw stretching to prod it clear. Now Headley emerging with it. That's about as close as they've come in the second half here. Brighter signs from the hosts. Substitutes very heavily involved in. There's a nice little passage of play from the Mariners there as well. Flynn Richards and Noah Peacock linking up there with Paragali. There's life left in this one yet for the coast. Dylan Rose now. Oh, it's an inventive little flick there from France. Marshall Whitty, bundled off it by Mutakoi. Contact was in the spirit of the game. Half-hearted shouts, if anything, for a penalty, but ironic cheers of VAR from those Sydney FC supporters behind the goal. Jablonski now for the Mariners.
Come on. Come on, boys.
Taylor, oh, that's a wonderful looking ball to release Riles, who just lets it run for Rose now. Looking to flip it back onto his right, and he will strike. It's a very good diving challenge to block the effort. Schumacher just slipped as he hit it, I fancy. Did Kai Schumacher. Lucas Vallela going to his bench once again. Ty McKibben now. It will be. He'll take the place of Lawrence Taylor. Very similar sort of style players. McKibben and Taylor, like for like swap there from Lucas Vallela. McKibben, certainly though a player who really loves to get at the opposition, really loves running at players with the ball at his feet. Lucas Vallela really ringing the changes here as the Mariners look to chase the game, I should say. The other option on the bench, Angus Reid, of course. Certainly more of a defensively minded option. Here's Miller. That's a good interception. Striding forward over halfway. His pass is picked out though. Marshall Whitty turning and spinning and only finding the feet of Jai Rose. Jai Rose just going down a little too softly for the referee's liking. This is an interesting looking long ball. Wade watching it all the way back into the area and plucking it off the toe of Gulteki. Just rolls it to the feet of Miller. Here's Paragon. Lancaster going all the way back to Sandy Zavadinos, sends it forward, and again it's France looking for the flick around the corner. Jablonski alert to it and emerging with it, and now driving forward and finding the feet of Rose, who clips it towards Flynn Richards on the edge of the area, spins and able to link up with Peacock, who drives it towards goal. And straight into the breadbasket really there of Zavadinos. Substitutions for the Mariners seemingly, certainly, injecting a little bit more energy for the Mariners. Here's McKibben, one of those recently introduced. Jablonski. Rose now. Dribbling straight at Marin France and then forced to go back. It's McKibben. Cross will come in from McKibben. Well, it's blocked off though. Good as far as Gultek in. Mariners asking the question of the free kick there against Oscar Gultek, and referee unimpressed, unmoved. Spinning there is Dylan Rose now. Space opening up centrally. Zrelic, first time ball towards the penalty spots. Mutakoi there first. Goes out to retrieve his own clearance as well. Shumba Mutakoi just running into trouble. It's the corridor of chaos, really. The whistle blow goes in favour of Sydney FC. And the chance for Jim Van Wieren to go to his bench for the first time today. Lockie Middleton will be withdrawn. Jay Bolts in place of Sydney FC midfielder. Still Has the likes of course, Jared Middleton, Nicholas Alfaro, Tyler Williams and Junior Conde all available on the bench as well. All eyes on this set-piece opportunity here for Sydney FC. Referee just ensuring the wall is set just so and ensuring that Marin France doesn't interfere with it. Hoisted into the area. Schumacher's head is the first to it. Pops back out here for Lancaster. It's forced just to go back and reload. Now, Srilic. France, latest goal scorer. Flip over the top for Lancaster. Dry Rose emerging with it though. Beats a couple, but not the thirds. All the way back with Shaw. Carl Shaw, who was in fact sent off on his last visit to Plume Park, wearing Spirit FC colours on that evening. Is Dylan Rose, gets around the outside of Richards initially, but his pass is kicked out once again by Max Miller. Now Richards tries to get around the outside. Maltz had body position again. Those two finished in a little bit of a waltz, really. Oh, Max Miller's just stepped out of the line. Headley now outside of the foot cross. The flag is up. The far touchline against Gultekin. McKibben immediately under a bit of pressure. Here's Miller inverting and threading the needle between 1 and 2 and then beating a third for good measure as well. Now Peacock, Rose is screaming for it. Through ball for Rose. They may have perhaps not expected the ball to be threaded through. It was an accurate through ball though, mind you, between the fullback and the centre half from Noah Peacock. And then slips. Gives away the free kick as well. Well, after a weekend last weekend of absolute chaos across the league with all three of the bottom three victorious, looks like the script has been flipped on that. As we said, on Friday night, the Wanderers going down 3-2 to Manly. Mariners currently 2 goals down against Sydney FC. We can bring you an update from Popondetta Park as well. Good news for the Central Coast Mariners. Mount Druitt's currently 2 goals behind against Upper Leichhardt with about 5 or so minutes to play in that deferred fixture. Sydney FC looking good value for their lead and looking to go ahead even further here. Gultekin looking to wriggle his way through. Shumba Mutakoyi though takes it off the toe of Gultekin. Fizzed it out over that far touchline. Massive bodies out there, and the cross from Marshall Whitty was fired into one of them. Sydney FC still coming though. A little back heel there from Headley is very good indeed. Wade has spilled it, and it rolls over the line for Sydney FC's third, Marin France's second. And you fancy that will certainly being all 3 points travelling back down the F3 this afternoon. Tay Headley, the architect. Marin France, the benefactor. And in all fairness, nothing less than his performance this afternoon has deserved. Goal number 6 of the season for the 18-year-olds. You wouldn't bet against him adding a third for the afternoon, really, would you? Here's Gultekin. Now, France again, linking up to great effect with Headley here. Headley, the provider for the most recent on the score sheet. Jim Van Wieren will use the opportunity to go to his bench. Well, it won't be a hat-trick this afternoon for Marin France. He's been withdrawn. Nicholas Alfaro on in place. The latest goal scorer. Some way to snap their barren run of form for Sydney FC. It's not done with just yet, though, as this pops out very kindly indeed for Dry Rose. And he does eventually have his legs taken away from him, right on the top corner of the area. Again, Rose and Jablonski standing over the set piece. The Mariners make a quick substitution as well. In the meantime, Angus Reid has just been introduced, sending just about everyone forward for the set piece. Everyone behind the ball defending this one for the Sky Blues. Dry Rose will swing it in to the edge of the 6-yard box, cleared as far as McKibben. Miller will send it straight back into the area. Pops out for Rose, who will strike. The whistle had gone anyway, and it won't matter. The strike was wide in any case. Absolutely no mood to play out from the back, sends it up over halfway, and then Richards has his legs taken away from him. Yellow cards brandished in the direction of Zrilic. News on the commentary last week that Dry Rose is perhaps one of the most fouled players across the league. Fancy if you were to pull that back to per minutes played, Flynn Richards would have a good shout there as well. Oh, he's been bundled off it, and the flag will go up against Gultekin. Looks fairly cut and dried. Not arcing or angling his run there off the shoulder of Paragali. Paragali to hoist it forwards. Nodded on by Jablonski, and now Rose looking to return it to Jablonski. It's a long way ahead of the Mariners fullback. I fancy with the introduction as well of Angus Reid, we may have seen a bit of a change of shape here as well for the Mariners. Zavadinos again sending all the options forward as we tick into the final quarter of an hour here at Plume. Tarrant sort of headed that from Gus Reid, but unable to keep it in the field of play. A little bit scrappy, but Dylan Rose emerging with it ahead of Jai Rose. Clipped around the corner from Maltz and into the area. Will go. Shepherded all the way back to Wade by Paragali, who rolls it out to the feet of McKibben. The diagonal ball out to find Riles now. Pass was picked out. See the intention there, trying to link up with Jai Rose. Sydney sweep it out to this near touch line with Zrilic. Once again, happy to play keep ball, as well they might be. 3 goals to the good here, Sydney FC. Lancaster. Alfaro, well, he couldn't quite bring it under his spell. It bounced up awfully awkwardly, and there's a tussle centrally, and it will pop out kindly for Sydney FC. Gultekin will strike. Across the face of goal, it fizzes. And behind for a goal kick. Max Miller now looking to stretch his legs and go through the gears on this near touch line. Zrilic puts paid to that, though. And I'll tell you what, he's won the throw in as well. Cannoning off the legs of Max Miller and into touch. Headley just digs it out of a tight space there towards Gultekin. Gultekin, little layoff is a handy one indeed. Here's Alfaro. Oh, that's a good challenge from Jablonski, reading the situation well, stepping in to take control. Still they come here though, Sydney, through Headley. That's a great challenge again from Miller, but then it's taken in turn off his toe by Zrilic. Richards standing firm and winning it, digging it out to find McKibben. Strides forward centrally. Zrilic tracking back and a great recovering challenge as well. Dylan Rose now for Sydney FC. Able to counterpunch. Now Alfaro strikes from the edge of the area. Takes a wicked deflection on the way through. Joel Wade could only stand and watch behind. For a corner it will go. Sydney FC have certainly had the wood over the Central Coast Mariners over the last 3 seasons in particular, of course. Mariners only securing victory on one occasion. Sydney FC have been professional in their endeavours so far. And looks good value for the 3 points today. Lancaster again looking to clip this one in. Not too far ahead of all those in sky blue. Into the hands of Joel Wade. Paragali striding forward over halfway and around the outside of Gultekin as well. Now McKibben sweeps it out to the far touch line for Jablonski. Good first touch and then spins around to the attention of Alfaro. Couldn't stick the delivery though towards Riles. It went. Sydney FC immediately looking to go straight back up the other end. Headley has his legs taken away, not once but twice. Jablonski, well, he's going to have to be careful there as well. It's a little bit needless kicking the ball away like that. It's an easy yellow card to give. Just get a bit of a talking to from the referee, though. Jim Van Weeren will take the opportunity to go to his bench once again. Double change, in fact, coming up for the Sky Blues. We'll try and bring you a bit of confirmation on that in just a second. As we await the board to go up from the fourth official. Meanwhile, Sydney FC looking to create some more mayhem. It's swung in, it's deep, it's towards Kaljasic, and it's behind. So Dylan Rose withdrawn, perhaps just being protected against that yellow card. Tyler Williams not in place. The other one withdrawn, Nicholas Zrilic, also perhaps being protected against that yellow card. Jared Middleton in place. Zrilic. Twin brother Lockie, of course, has already departed for the afternoon after a fairly industrious shift at the heart of that sky blue midfield. Middleton hoists it back into play. Back to Kaljasic, and all the way back to Zavadinos. Alfaro doesn't have the beating of Rose, but final touch is off the legs of Jai Rose and to touch on that far touch line. It's been tough going for the Central Coast Mariners this afternoon at their home ground. Fortress Plume has finally been breached. As we said, outstanding run of form over the last 5 weeks or so. Here's Miller, bursting into the space here, taking the grass available in front of him. Max Miller pulled back into the area. Tay Headley will pluck it out of the sky. Get the return pass as well with a bit more space around him now to drive into Will Headley. Outside of the foot pass. Mariners want the offside and they will get it as well. That man again, Gultekin. Not for the first time this afternoon. Have done ever so well of really starving the Mariners of any sort of service as well, occupying all the passing lanes. We saw in the first half, of course, Logan Sambrook and Harper Riles. Gultekin's going to be onside this time. Shumba Mutakui watched him all the way and effects a very good challenge. It will pop back out for Gultekin though. Little layoff. It's a handy one, and the strike will come from Maltz. It's quite wide and handsome in the end. Joel Wade forced to play ball boy. As we said, we saw in the first half, Logan Sambrook and Mugginga Potter really starved of any opportunities. Full credit must go to how well organised Sydney FC and Jim Van Weeren's side have been today. Sort of theme throughout much of the second half. Peacock and Harper Riles really getting the delivery or the service they need to be impactful. Noel Peacock now dropping in and stealing into great effect. Striding forward, head up and assessing the cross. Nearly squirmed through for Harper Riles there. It's a good piece of defending to cut it out just before it arrived. Paragali, Reeves, Miller, now Paragali again. Just hauling Maltz to the deck there as it ran away from him. You can tell over the last couple of challenges the Mariners have put in, perhaps just an eking of frustration creeping in. They're not used to losing, the Mariners. You didn't think you'd be saying that perhaps 10 or so weeks ago. They came into this one one of the form sides of the competition alongside Spirits FC and Upper Leichhardt. Unbeaten in their last 5. Sydney FC, who hadn't tasted victory in their last 5, but as we said atop the broadcast, when these academy sides meet, particularly ones with the history that the Mariners and Sydney FC do across all levels, you can throw the form guide out the window. Sure, good looking ball this to find Jared Middleton. Lancaster. Williams and Sydney FC once again very happy to play keep ball and just manage this one out for the final 5 or so here at Pluim. Williams. Middleton. This time blocked off by Max Miller of the Mariners. Lancaster. Middleton all the way back to Kaljasic, who really set the tone for proceedings here in the first stanza. Tapping home from close range to open the scoring. It's a good looking ball over the top now from Headley, and Miller read it all the way. Sliding in was Maltz, but Miller there first to just clear into this near touch line, nearly into the grandstand with us here. Very nearly a chance for a crowd catch. Rising is Maltz, as is Miller. Miller now is split wide to receive the pass from Paragali. Reid, Jablonski screaming for it on that far touchline as he's got acres of space to move into here, and he will receive it as well. Good crossfield diag that from Gus Reid. Now it's Dry Rose. Couple of step overs, I should say. I'll put my teeth back in. Reid now to swing in the cross. There's no one arriving for the Mariners. It was far too deep for either Peacock or Riles. Richards also was lurking with intent. It was a long way ahead of him. Zabadinos in no hurry, as you may expect, to take the resulting goal kick, ticking into the final 2 minutes of regulation time here at Pluim. Rising there was Reid, and he's done ever so well to keep it in the field of play as well. That switch of play didn't quite have the same accuracy as the last one from Gus Reid, and now Sydney striding over halfway. Alfaro opted not to try and take on Jablonski on that occasion, all the way back to Shaw. Lancaster. Kyle Shaw. It's been a much happier trip up to Pluim Park this afternoon than it was on his last visit here, Kyle Shaw. The Sydney FC captain. Richards had his legs taken away there, and he's asking, well, as are many in the crowd here, as to how that wasn't a free kick, but on we go. Ball's too far ahead of Middleton there. Richards keen to get things on the move and try and find something, anything from the Mariners. It's Peacock from a long way out. The technique looks good. They look great when they come off. That one just sailing over the crossbar. Sealed the game last week, of course, Noah Peacock. Intriguing prospects for the Central Coast Mariners since his move up from the Wanderers. Sandy Zabadinos just getting a bit of a talking to from the referee, advising him that this time will be added on, taken into account. Speaking of, ticking into the final 10 seconds here at Plume. About to see the board go up, and I fancy we'll see 3 minutes of time added on. Jai Rose on the far touchline. Well, that's agricultural at best. We'll have the free kick though. Is Mutakui. We will see 3 minutes of time added on indeed. Wade clips it out to Miller. Quite stick the pass, so Williams able to step in. He'll have it back as well, Tyler Williams. Alfaro. Dry Rose stealing into great effect though. Clocks out very kindly indeed for the Mariners winger. Little nutmeg on the way through before he's bundled off it, and goes down a little too easily for the referee's liking. It's Middleton. Back with Williams. And again, Sydney FC just happy to play keep ball and force the Mariners really to just chase shadows. Little pockets of space appearing for them as well. It does go forward eventually towards Gultekin, who stayed onside this time. Clipped in towards Alfaro. It's too far ahead of Sydney's number 7. Paragully there first. Paragully does eventually emerge with it. It's taken off the toe with Jai Rose on the way through. Mutakui prods it forwards. It's a good ball, in fact, to find Riles. Now, Miller head up and assessing the options in front. Wants to carry it over halfway and then spread it wide for Richards. Back inside it will go. Taken off the toe of Michael Paragully though. A couple little afters on the way through as well between Paragully and Lancaster. Meanwhile, Gultekin shifting back onto his right and skipping inside and striking into the legs of Paragully. Still they come here, Lancaster spinning. Well, you can see the intention there into the half space for Tay Headley, just too far ahead of the former Mariner. Now in sky blue.
Good job.
And a happy return to Plume Park this afternoon. It will be indeed for Tay Headley. Paragully hoisting it forward, and that will be that here at Plume Park. A professional performance, perhaps a touch of good fortune in part for Sydney FC with 3 points. Nothing less than they deserve this afternoon here at Plume Park. They'll head back down the F3. Certainly satisfied with their performance, snapping their 5-game not winning streak, I should say. And in the process, snapping the Mariners' 5-game unbeaten run. The form guide goes out the window so often when these sides meet, as it did once again today. The Mariners will look to regroup ahead of their return to Plume Park on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock next weekend as they play host to Marconi. As for Sydney FC, they'll be in action themselves on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock down at Wollongong as they face a resurgent Wollongong Wolves, who are still very much in the hunt for that top 6. But that's a wrap from Plume Park for round 25 of the NPL Men's New South Wales competition. Thanks all for joining us. I'll see you all next time. From myself, Pete Pryor, it's bye for now.